Okay. Notice of congresses that, according to the timetable, has been on from around the 2nd of February to form purchases submission between the 4th and the 9th of February, this very month we're in. Now I am reading that screening of aspirants is between the 11th and 13th of this month. So how well is that going?
Well, the first option on the table for the party is to seek the leaders of each ward to sit down and come up with consensus lists. That is to avoid knowing that we have a situation where there were members of the PDP that crossed, for instance, into Delta State APC. And this is not unique with Delta State. There are so many governors that crossed. There are so many senators and members of House of Reps that crossed. Quite a number of people crossed into the party, and they met a party structure. They met the president, in his wisdom, has said to everybody that the structure that is in place, they're like the landlord. You met somebody there. Now, by the same token, the people that cross into the party, the governors, yes, by the constitution of the APC, they are the leaders of the party. I think that's a very good way to check impunity on either side. So it becomes very important for there to be a merger, a seamless merger. Now, most times the leaders of the party at the ward level, at the LGA level are well known. These people constitute people who have carried the party. Now, since APC is the party that we are inside, there are people who have carried APC before those who came in now have been there. Meanwhile, they came in with the strength of the structure of the PDP. And so there are also leaders that are known, Now, it behoves on each side to sit down and harmonize the list, bearing in mind that the APC, when you join a people, you go by their rules. The APC has said the structure remains, and these are the guidelines for changing some people. And being a very gender-friendly party, there are almost about 5 slots: the treasurer, the assistant organization secretary, a number of the assistants, but some main portfolios, the vice chairman, that are supposed to go to women. So where you had males there, you will automatically have to change them to women.
Sort of a positive discrimination.
Well, it's what do you call it? Affirmative action. The numbers are important for women. You have to have the voices of women on the table. If you ignore that, it's going to even affect the party at the polls. For instance, I sat with the women. We are 3 women at my ward level that are the major people who pull in votes during elections. And we know ourselves. And we sat down and we discussed and we came up with a consensus on who certain people, certain leaders should be on the ESCO list. So if you want success at the polls, you must take into consideration that grassroots involvement, and the women are a major voting bloc. And you can see how poorly the women performed as per coming out during the last elections. We have just 4 senators. And so this is the foundation. If we don't get it right now, and if we don't get it right at the party level, and if we don't learn to work properly with ourselves, learn the political ropes of what to do, we will continue to be disenfranchised. So the APC has led by creating the rules and saying at least almost 5 slots from what we got should go to women. So the APC has started with a very good foundation, and I hope the other parties will follow suit. Now you have the slots where you have, if there's somebody who died or if there's somebody who resigned, and you have a number of them who have not even been seen. And there's some who resigned and joined the PDP, for instance, in Delta, because the PDP was the predominant party, especially after the APC had lost elections in Delta State. So those places are vacant. So wisdom dictates that the leaders in the ward should sit down. Like in my ward, we had each leader nominate at least 1 person that was now to, replace those vacant positions. However, just like a lot of politicians do. There's been a lot of impunity again. And it's very important for the party to ensure that its rules are not, disobeyed. Because that is the beginning of the issue of litigation or the party imploding again. We can't afford what happened in PDP. And also what happened that made APC to lose election in Delta. I think that we have to be true to ourselves if we want to succeed. APC lost election in Delta. They did not win in Delta. And PDP imploded in Delta. So there are blessings from both sides. And the truth is that the things that happen, you find people calling meetings in their personal home. They want to dominate. You know quite all right that they are leaders. You practically have council of leaders. Because in each ward, you have had a lot of people that have held a lot of positions. Former presidential advisors, former commissioners, present commissioners, former advisors of the president, board members, and at each turn, all of these people supported the party massively. And they have their supporters. There are some supporters that we have. Even if, no matter what you do, you can't buy them because we have built them up and they are in the party. So if you like spend money, you can't buy them. What you need is the goodwill of each leader mobilizing their people to ensure that the party becomes stronger. So we have replacements to do. We have to make sure that we put the strongest person from each side there. But it is imperative that you don't just pick a list, for instance, and therefore, like, for instance, we have instances, I know about my ward, where a ward chairman who is not involved, elders are supposed to be the leaders in the party, are supposed to be the ones that should, we are you go on and tinker with the list that you are supposed to be just delivering to the LGA chairman. You are the one nominating yourself, and a lot of hijack has been reported to be going on. And the solution to that, if there's no agreement and there's hijack, what to do is there will be no option than to, call for open primaries. So it's advisable that people should sit down, humble themselves, because they are not the only leaders. Humble themselves on both sides, sit down and have consensus lists to ensure that those lists are agreeable by all the parties. Right now, you find people submitting multiple lists. You find that leaders are agreeing on names, and some people will carry it and go and rejig the list and just remove names with impunity. This is not the past. This is under the watch of the president. And we all know that the president is a seasoned politician. He knows exactly what he's doing. And these same situations apply across board in all the states. So to avoid litigation, multiple litigation, to avoid multiple elections and saying everybody go and buy forms and get into the field, because that is what it will become by the time people will go to court and court orders it. But if we have consensus lists, by the time we are sitting at Congress on the 18th, it becomes very easy because all the stakeholders have agreed. So we're in the process of all that. We have noticed a lot of hijack, at least in Delta. We have noticed people are already calling for suspension. In fact, there are some ideas of what it took to checkmate some of these things in the PDP. Maybe we can do some research and do some pruning down and stop everybody from, the party said, for instance, the meetings for consensus, so that there is no, you don't have pressure on the people to take decision. They should be held in neutral venues, like primary schools, in the local in the ward, in the village there. Or people are holding it in their big houses and hosting the meeting and intimidating people. Ward is the smallest unit. Ward is where you get the votes from. It's very important to ensure that the rules are applied by APC. If you hold meeting in your house, you go under suspension. You should adhere to the party principles. It's very easy. Why intimidate the people? As a leader, if you are leading and nobody is following, you are taking a walk, you know? So